Alright, so today we're at another heavy duty shop. Look at all these trucks behind me, it's crazy. And they have one technician here. They're kind of short-handed, but he's nice enough to offer me some time to make a video, so let's check it out. This is a pretty awesome shop too. But today, Triston, thanks so much for meeting up with me. I really appreciate it. This is his box. It's a Snap-on.
Hey, it's a 72-inch. It's a classic series.
Classic series. Okay, that's awesome. And he said he just wiped it all down like a week ago, and it's already just crazy dirty. That's not, so it's just because you like blow off all the like the excavators and stuff that you work on?
Mainly just because they have, when you're working on them using air tools, it blows dirt everywhere.
Yes,
and then, like I say, working in an industry where they're meant to haul dirt or they have stuff on them all the time.
Yeah, man, you work on heavy stuff. And I don't see very often people utilizing like the hutch for hanging tools and stuff. And that is awesome.
Yeah, when you run out of room, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So are these like your go-to ratchets here?
The typical ones that I use the most are this 1/2-inch ratchet, mainly because it's a locking flex and it's short enough to get into most areas.
Oh yeah.
And then usually this 3/8 one, but it all depends on what type of job I'm doing. I got a ratchet for just about anything.
So how long have you been working heavy stuff?
So I've been doing diesel heavy, like cat and equipment trucks, probably for 4.5 years, like total.
And then you did auto before that?
Yeah, I've done auto in my teens, like when I was 14, I started doing auto under the table for places and then started getting into it more.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So it's kind of something I just picked up and never kind of let go of. Like I can't see myself doing anything else but this.
Yeah. And so you're the only technician right here?
Yeah, as of right now, I'm the only technician right now.
That is insane. And these holders look pretty cool.
Yeah, so sometimes I'll grab this because it's a magnet, so you can just lock it and then they won't come off.
Oh, what?
So you turn them. So sometimes I grab those because I'm also going out in the field to go fix stuff like hydraulic leaks and stuff.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll grab certain things like a ratchet or my wrenches to go out, but I have a bag that's usually just my grab bag and go.
Oh, gotcha. So you can lock them and then just take the whole rack with you?
Yeah, you just lock it and then you can just peel this off.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just held up there with magnets. A lot of my stuff, like these up here,
I didn't even see those.
Those are my double-ended box end wrenches, but they're just held up there with a magnet. So I've got a full set of those, and then I've got they're called just like 12-degree offset box end wrenches from Snap-on. For doing like turbos and stuff, they have just that enough offset to get in there and break the manifolds free. So I've got a full set of those hanging up there. I think it's 8 to like 19, and then these are for 8 to 24 is this bigger one.
Goodness.
25. And they have one more big one, but I haven't brought myself to buying it yet because it costs more than 3 of those.
Jeez. So are you mostly Snap-on ratchets? A fan of Snap-on ratchets, or?
Yeah, most of my stuff's Snap-on, but I do have a couple oddball like Mako ratchets that I like just because I like the grips on the Mako ones a little bit too. And then a couple of like oddball Cornwells, like that's a Cornwell, and these 4 right here are all Cornwell. But other than that, most of them are Snap-on brand.
That's awesome. That's a huge breaker bar back there. Do you have to get that out ever?
Yeah, when I'm doing like rear diffs or transmissions and I can't get my 1-inch to break the yoke nuts free, you'll see me over there with like a 20-foot shitter pipe on that trying to break it free.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
And then I have the matching 3/4 that also extends out.
Oh yeah.
That's also, you can buy that off the Snap-on truck, but it's branded.
Easy Red, yeah.
However you want to say that.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah, so over here I've got
and stuff.
the Stinger Streamlight flashlight, which is my favorite, different settings, and it's a pretty bright flashlight.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Is that like a newer model? That's like the one that just came out?
Yeah, this is the brand new Streamlight that just came out like 6 months ago. When I saw it, I was like, I gotta have it. And then moving over here, just have some map gas for my torches, anti-seize, air tool oil, red Loctite, my little screwdrivers that you get for free usually.
Yeah.
Soapstone, markers for writing on pieces of equipment when we serviced them, because when we service them, we write the hours on the filters so we know when we did it. And then just usually wherever I have my daily stuff, like my sunglasses, keys.
Oh, sweet, yeah. I like it. I like having a shelf, that way you don't have like a dedicated drawer, just throw keys and stuff. Right?
Yeah.
And then, is this light made for this box?
No. These both are up here on a magnet. This is actually screwed into a magnet tray.
Oh, that's smart.
because I was like, I'm not drilling in my roof. And then this one's just on 2 individual magnets.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's like a whole bank of...
It's got some USBs up there and whatnot.
That's awesome. And this is a stainless top, right? It's just
this is Rhino liner,
the Rhino.
Yeah, this is how you can get them. Oh, I had stainless tops before, but they end up getting scratched and they look really bad.
Oh, gotcha.
So I went with the Rhino liner on this box.
Does it hold up a lot better?
Oh, yeah. This has seen 2.5 years, and I mean, there's not really any scratches. You get stuff stuck in there you can never get out, but...
Yeah. Do you work on here? Like actually work on it?
Not typically, because I'm kind of I don't want my box scratched type of guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But if I'm working on like a little carburetor or something like that, I will. That's kind of, I use that mainly for a lot of teardown stuff. Like if I do a turbo, I'll drag it with me. And usually I'm not working too far away from my box because my bay is right here. So I can usually just work right out of my box.
And so does this have a light on? I just noticed the switch.
Go ahead, push it.
Oh,
it's got it so you can see it inside the drawers as you open them.
That's cool.
So up here in my first drawer is all my sockets. Got quite the variety.
Goodness.
Starting back here, like 1/2 inch metrics, and then it goes from here to here, and that's a 10 to a 36 piece, and that's by Cornwell. And then jumping over here, this is the Blue Power Cornwell version, and it's on standard. It goes from 1 1/4 down to 3/8, I believe, and then an oddball 1 5/16 Mako to finish it off. Over here is just some cheap Nikko, however you want to pronounce it.
Like the Nikko, yeah, I know what you're talking about, like Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon brand. And I bought those because I used to work out in the field more, so I didn't want to have any of my expensive stuff. At my house, I have a full set of Snap-on to replace it, but I'm like, I'm not going to take it and lose it.
That's a good idea.
If I lose a $10 socket, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, and these look like they've been through some work.
Oh, yeah. That is one of the bigger Snap-on sockets I have. That is a 2 3/16 for the diffs.
Goodness.
I have one more bigger one floating around the shop. I think it's over on the other side of the building. But
for the like a diff for what?
Like the differentials in these axles.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah. When you buy them, you got to replace. You got to reuse your old yoke that doesn't come with them, so you got to pull them off.
Wow.
Some wobblies by Cornwell, metric and standard, and then you jump into some experts by Mac, and then you jump back to Cornwell for these. These weird little. These actually come in quite handy. They're a blue point like ratcheting, but you can stick a 3/8 extension in them, or you can put them on a ratchet. So if you're working on somewhere you can't get into.
Whoa.
I've used these on turbo bolts a couple of times because one of the manifold bolts you can't get on, but that's got that angle. But then you can put your extension in there and get your ratchet away from it so you can break it free. But they're pretty cool being ratcheting. And that's like 5/16 to 3/4. I kind of wish they went bigger, but. And then there's some oddball things like when I used to do alignments, these hooks are really good for grabbing onto or even like on tailgates, there's rods on tailgates that hold the latches shut, and to grab hold of those and break it free, it's basically a pipe wrench, but a lot more compact, and you can put a 1/2 inch ratchet in them and get a lot more torque on them.
So I'm noticing a lot of this is standard. Is that what most of your stuff is?
No, I have 1/2 and 1/2 of everything.
Oh, do you? Wow.
Because so like the engines of Cummins, usually they're on the metric side, but if you get into the older Cummins, then they go back to standard.
Oh,
but if you're working on the chassis, they're usually standard.
Okay.
But like if you have an Allison in one of these, they're metric.
Gotcha.
It just depends. Like they're not one or the other. It's you gotta take a guess.
Wow. Huh. And so this is like the tool grid
Yeah.
setup, right? This looks like it would take forever to set up.
Yeah, I've ripped this out twice and redone it.
Oh.
I'm to it at this point. If I had to redo it, I'm just buying a whole new box. Because it's so tedious putting every little screw in.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Man. And are these like spark plug sockets?
Yeah, these are some Cornwell spark plug sockets. I would not recommend buying them because if you're working on like a 4-cylinder, this right here, this will not fit down inside the valve cover.
What?
Yeah, so I bought them on sale thinking it was a great deal, went to use them. They work great on V8s or anything that's got the spark plug exposed, but you cannot get those down into like 50-70% of 4-cylinders valve covers.
No way.
So they're just there.
Skip those ones then. Goodness.
Yeah.
Huh.
But these things are awesome. So these are a Mako branded short little stubby Allen.
Wow, those are tiny.
But you can get them in Allens, Phillips. These Phillips are great. So if you're working on rotors and they got that Phillips, you put that in there on like a, this is what I do. I put it in a reducer and put it on a 3/8 impact gun, and you just go real slow with it and just push really hard, and the impacting will actually break that loose.
Oh, that's awesome. So do these come in like a set?
Yeah, they actually come in a little Matco box about that big, and they buy them in 8 packs. They're like $50, but I didn't want these little things sitting here.
Yeah. So do the number or the colors coordinate to something, or is it just kind of random?
They're supposed to be, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not that particular about it. So.
Gotcha.
I just buy them however they had them on the truck. That's how you get them. And
Oh, okay.
most trucks sell them, so I'm like, I just need some 3/8 or 1/4 inch, and that whatever color they have, I end up with.
Yeah, it looks good though. Oh,
Yeah.
Man, what is that? Is this just like a?
This is a crescent wrench you can put a ratchet on.
Oh, that's sweet. Who makes that?
Snap on.
That's a snap-on, huh?
Yeah, for working on some hydraulic hoses where you can't get a full-size wrench in there.
Oh,
you
sure,
just
yeah.
stick that on there and put a extension, and you get a ratchet away from there. That works pretty good.
Yeah.
And then some pretty cool little 12-point mid-length Cornwell magnetic sockets. So
Oh man.
when you're working on an engine and you're doing with like little tiny 10s, you don't have to lose them because they're magnetized.
Yeah, that's sweet. I've never seen wobblies with like magnets in them. That's awesome.
They're pretty good. And then hiding back here are some Mac. So if you're ever working underneath the interior, these things bite really good and really hard. So
Are those like the RBRT?
Yeah, so they work pretty good. Usually I'll throw that in the truck if I'm going somewhere where I know I'm going to be taking body parts off or working in the interior. Because sometimes on Cat you get tamper-proof screws on the interior where they don't want you messing around.
Huh.
And then I don't use chrome really ever here.
Really?
But if I ever find my situation where an impact socket won't fit in there, I have these little basic set of chrome sockets.
Nice.
They're by Gear Wrench. If I don't plan on using it a whole lot, I'm not going to spend the money on it.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
Back here, this is a 2-for-1, or you can use spiked lug nuts to take spiked lug nuts off trucks.
Oh, whoa.
Or you can use it to cage semi-air brakes. Because caging them, there's a big bolt you put in there, and then they're super long, and you got to run them down to release the brake. So if you ever need to.
Wow. Yeah, I just learned about cage brakes. That's pretty awesome.
This is a pretty good little set of reducers or upsizers.
Yeah.
I've only ever broke the 3/4 inch one, mainly because it's a 3/4. And
You broke a 3/4 inch?
Yeah.
Goodness.
I actually broke it, and the guy was like, "Do you want an extra?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I've got actually the extra insert somewhere in one of those sockets tucked back there. Pretty well set up. There's not too many sockets I don't really need. Mainly for axles, I have to use the shops like 2 and 5/16 or 2 and 7/8, the big stuff.
Yeah.
But then down here,
My goodness.
this is your best bang for your buck is buying this just a full set. Just do it all at once, because if you buy just a little set, then you always want the bigger set. So
Right.
I went out and bought the full size, just got it over with.
Gosh.
And then got a variety of snap-on crescent wrenches. They're the best crescent wrenches money can buy. Like, these are the smooth jaw ones, so if you're working on hydraulic hoses or something you don't want to scratch, they're super thin and you can get into tight places with them, but they don't mar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess Snap-on has some that are like the flank drive.
Yeah, and these ones are the flank drive plus.
Oh, yeah, man.
But
that is awesome.
you can see how much I use them. I usually grab a crescent wrench instead of an actual wrench because I'm guessing, but
Yeah.
they get chewed up pretty good. I've got, you can't see it, but there's another set back there. So I got the 6, 8, 10, 12, and then I've got actually double of those. So I've got 8 of the little guys.
Wow.
And then somebody bought me these. I don't recommend these. I don't ever use them. They're like such a gimmick. They're Cornwell, like actual branded, like expensive crescent wrenches, but like,
Oh, yeah. Huh.
don't have any idea what you'd want to. Yeah, you got me.
Oh, my gosh.
Somebody bought me those for a birthday or something. I was like, oh yeah, great, thanks. I'm never gonna use those again.
Oh, man.
And then for ratcheting wrenches, Gear Wrench, they're pretty good. I've never really broken any. I mean, they get worn out and sloppy over time. Like,
Sure.
Which one is it? This one, like.
Yeah. You probably warranty it out if you wanted to.
Yeah. Then a couple of like specialty Mac moon wrenches for getting into like air compressors. We're behind front cases or front, basically the front of the engine. You got to get behind there to get to some bolts. This works pretty good.
Oh, nice.
I got this weird S-shaped one back there. It's a 5/8 on Cat on some of the older ones. You use this to get to the back bolt holding it on. These were pretty good. It's line wrenches. So if you're ever working on a fuel injection system and you're working on some of the smaller stuff, those work pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially if they get tight.
So do these drawers not come all the way out?
I think there's actually something wrong with this drawer over here because it doesn't want to come out. That side definitely does, but this side doesn't.
Huh.
But
I wonder, is like the slide.
oh, there you go. See,
Cool. Nice. That's awesome.
I was like, it doesn't want to pull out, but I don't know.
Yeah, that is awesome. So that's the same set as like this one?
So this is a.
Or is that a different set altogether?
So it goes this guy,
Oh, it's
this
smaller,
guy,
okay.
then this one, then this one. So it's the 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch,
Oh,
12-inch.
wow. Man.
I wanted to buy it in one set, but they were on back order for a
Gotcha.
long time. So I was like, just give me the individuals. Then.
Oh, okay.
This is kind of the oddball drawer, just random. So starting off, got 2 Matco a Matco 1/2-inch extended anvil for doing like tires. Actually, you can't buy it like that. I had to switch it over to do it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Huh.
This Mako guns are the same as like the Ingersoll titanium Virgins or whatever it is, so you can swap the anvils in them.
Yeah.
I've actually sheared the anvil in this twice.
Did you?
Yeah, this is the strongest gun I think I've ever owned.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like they rated it at 1,400 foot-pounds, but I put it up against their brand new guns and it runs pretty good.
Really? How does it do against like an Astro? 'Cause I haven't seen that in anybody's box so far.
So, my girlfriend bought me this for Christmas, not knowing I had this one.
Yeah.
So this gun is actually pretty good. Like I've used it solid the last year, but it's got plenty of power. It'll take a semi-lug nut off, no problem. But the longevity of it, I don't know, because like this is already starting to get hard to switch. You gotta find yourself an extra tool, and
oh, gotcha. Huh.
you can't push it with your finger, and that might just because I got a dud or I beat the crap out of it or something. But other than that, it works pretty good. I've got the little Astro 90. If you're doing like taking calipers off and stuff, that thing's small enough to get in there.
Huh.
So it works pretty good. It's a little gutless, but I mean, it works good. Going back, I got the little 3/8 Cornwell stubby gun, which I use quite a bit here for working underneath the engines of these things.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Put yourself a wobbly on there, you can get about anywhere with that.
Oh, yeah, nice. That Aircat is massive.
Yeah, this is an older model Aircat. They made a brand new one, which I want, but my girlfriend said I got to break this one before I buy a new one.
Just like slam it on the ground.
Yeah.
That is huge.
This is a pretty good gun. I like it. Got the 6-piece Mac pry bar set. They were on sale, so I bought them. No need to overpay on a pry bar, because I mean, all they do is pry.
Yeah. You're the first person that I've seen with a Mac air hammer. How's that, dude?
I've had the Mako one, the snap-on one. That thing will run circles around it.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
I used to have a coworker here, and he bought a brand new high-vis snap-on one. He's over there. I think he was trying to drive a pin out of a slack adjuster. He was sitting there. He got all mad, started swearing and whatnot. I was like, "Here, let me try mine." Like 3 seconds, just slammed it right out.
No way.
And I was like, "You got that thing turned all the way up?" He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Don't know what to tell you."
So is this the only model that they make, or is this like a?
That's like a year and a half old, so I think it's the current model. It's just the long bore. And then back here, just some random air hammer bits and whatnot. I use an air hammer here quite a bit. But this is the only one that I really use of air ratchets anymore, just my little tiny 1/4 inch, because I can get in such tight places.
Yeah, that's tiny. Who makes that? Is that?
It's a Cornwell.
Cornwell, okay.
Yeah. The Mako air grinders or die grinders, they're pretty good.
So do you get all the trucks out here, like Matco, Snap-on?
We used to, but the only ones we get now are Snap-on and Cornwell, and occasionally Mako. He'll come like once every 2-3 weeks. Oh, really? But usually I have to call him to get him out here.
Oh, gotcha.
An air shear, a nibbler for cutting aluminum, because I do like fabrication, and I'll make a panel to cover up hydraulic hoses or something like that.
Sweet.
So I'll use that to cut through sheet metal when I don't want to make sparks and get it all over me.
Yeah.
And then back here, there's nowhere else I can put it in my box, so that's the 1/2 inch Snap-on high-vis torque wrench.
That's awesome. I love that high-vis color.
Yeah.
So is this a 1/2 inch then?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Huh. Does that treat you pretty well?
Oh yeah. It's the only thing I would trust to do like heads or anything like that whenever I'm working on anything that this can actually do, because some of these head bolts go up to like, I think they're like 350 or 500. So I think that's it for that drawer. Cool. Pretty cool Snap-on air chuck.
Oh yeah.
Bought it off of, what am I looking for here? I have whenever I see something, I just have shopper's anxiety, so I end up just buying it.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks cool. So, Snap-on panel poppers. These things are awesome. I've used these in the automotive industries forever. They work really good. Got the full set of Snap-on screwdrivers. I don't like green, but it's the only thing they ever sell them in green, and I don't like red, so. The little baby Snap-ons, Phillips and flatheads, and then you go over here to some Torques, which are used sometimes, but not really here. Feeler gauges, use those quite often for doing like valve flashing or whatnot. Just some cheap old Harbor Freight punches and stuff like that.
Nice.
I destroy them, and I had a set and they didn't want to warranty them because I would destroy them weekly. Some Cornwell picks, the big guys, use those a lot. Little Snap-on picks, good set, and the Cornwell picks, littler version. Just a Snap-on quick spark plug gapping tool.
Yeah.
Works pretty good. A couple of little oddball stuff I just accumulated over the years from people. A couple of their panel poppers, an old scraper and whatnot.
What are those back there?
These?
No, these guys.
Oh, these are a Blue Point flex head Allen.
Oh, that's cool.
I used to use them a lot until I found the Mac RBT version of them, and they work way better.
So, and it still has like the swivel head and everything?
No, they're just a standard Allen
gotcha.
key, but they grab way better.
That's awesome.
Usually you don't really need a swivel for putting in an Allen, but
Gotcha, yeah.
that's just my preference.
Yeah, that's a full screwdriver set. Usually they don't have that many in a set. That's awesome.
Well, my motto is if you're going to buy something, you might as well buy it once and not have to buy it twice.
Exactly, yeah.
But people will buy like the little 4-pack, and then you're like,
Yeah.
well, what happens if you need to buy a bigger one? Well, then I'll buy it later. Well, I'm like, well, then you're splitting the cost, so why not just buy it all at once?
Exactly. It's usually costing you more money to buy it.
Oh yeah, it costs way
Separately.
more individually.
Yeah.
This is my plier drawer. Most of it Snap-on. I got a couple Mac. So these are all Mac. They came in a pack. I got the Cobra. Bigger, I think those are called the, I don't know, yeah, Cobras. The Nitpicks Cobras. I got that size, the jumbo pair, and then I got the medium set one.
Okay, that's... that's ridiculous. Oh my God. Like I say this a lot, but this has got to be the biggest set of, like, they make. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they make a bigger one.
2 feet long or something? My goodness. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
you.
you're good.
That is just ridiculous. Do you use those often?
Oh yeah. I'll use them for grabbing hold the tie rods on semis to align them.
Wow.
I'll use that and grab hold of them, and if that doesn't work, I usually get a pipe wrench and throw a 10-foot bar on there. But
well, if that doesn't work, my God.
Yeah. These things, I wish I bought the bigger set. This is like a, I think they call them like the Sweden version of a pipe wrench or something like that.
Okay.
But they got double joint, so they bite really hard. It's just that mouth that doesn't open up big enough for a lot of things.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then going over here to the Nitpicks, the flat jaw ones for doing hydraulic hoses. If you're just trying to speed into it, they won't mar them or round them off. You usually just get them cinched tight, and then you go back and double check them with a wrench. But got that 3-pack. Those work pretty good. Jumping over here, I got a little tiny baby set of needle noses. Bought those mainly for picking out splinters.
Oh yeah.
Snap-on.
Nice.
I got a Mac set. I bought these thinking these were going to be super cool, but I don't think I've ever used them. They're Mac 90-degree crimpers and wire strippers. Don't think I've ever used them. I'll use these ones more than anything, just your typical Snap-on. These work really good.
Do you do much wiring on like these heavy-duty?
Oh yeah, you're fixing tail lights and clearance lights and that type of stuff all the time.
Gosh, yeah, I guess run into stuff.
They rip wires apart like crazy. If you don't have it zip tied up and cinched to a frame, they'll find a way to rip it.
Wow.
Snap-on flush cuts. If you ever buy a set, make sure you keep the guard on, because if you drop that, they're gonna.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because if you get really close in there, you can see the color variation. They got a hardened texture to them. They're hardened on the tip, so they don't fold over or whatnot.
Okay.
But if you drop that, the tip of these will fling off. And then you get over here. These are actually really good. These double jointed pliers, like those are my two go-to pliers for doing stuff with this style of plier.
Really?
Yeah. They have twice as much biting force as this big set right here. This all came as a package. I bought the 4 and I got that one for free off the truck. I don't use these ones a whole lot because usually you can't get enough force on them and they just end up destroying it with these big teeth. They'll destroy whatever they get on.
That makes sense.
Snap-on long needle noses that I've absolutely destroyed.
Holy cow, those are like...
which I'm waiting for a new pair, but haven't got them yet.
How'd you do that? What were you working on?
I can't remember, but I grabbed them really hard and then I put my other hand over and squoze them and then they bent.
You must have been angry that day. Holy cow.
And then just your Snap-on 90-degree needle noses. These work great for trying to get up into like fuses. If you're trying to pull a fuse, that way it's not right above it so you can actually see.
Yeah.
Your big wide jaw vice grips. I use these a lot for welding to hold stuff down together. Nice. You can see all the welding slag all over them.
Do you do a lot of welding here? Like on
yeah, I do a lot of welding. We work on gravel boxes here and they destroy them.
Oh, do they?
You'll put 6-7 tons of material in them and they'll pick them up and they'll rip the tops of them off and shove a tooth right through the bottom of them or whatnot.
Holy cow.
So we do a lot of welding compared to most places. But
yeah.
Down here is my cordless tool.
Goodness.
Starting in the left, I got the 3/4 inch Milwaukee. Then jumping over to the 1/2 inch one. I'm actually going to upgrade that one because Milwaukee just came out with a brand new one that matches these Gen 3s.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I've got the Gen 3 I think they're Gen 3s. Gen 3 1/2 inch, the 3/8, my older 3/8, which I don't use anymore now because this one 10 times better. This is like 210 foot-pounds. That's 650.
Whoa. And so like I've never seen a 3/4 inch. Is it okay if I pick it up?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Gosh. So this has more torque than the 1/2 inch high torque.
Yeah, I think this model is like 1400, and I think they advertise this one at like 1550. But When I was doing roadside service, I usually run out there with that and rip the lug nut off and then hit it on with my 1-inch just to save battery on my 1-inch, because my 1-inch will destroy batteries.
You have a 1-inch too?
Yeah, it's over here.
Goodness.
And then I've got 2 snap-on long necks, cordless ratchets, a 1/4 inch and a 3/8. These things are pretty good. I use the Milwaukee ones. I will say those things do spin a lot slower, so like running time if you're working on a long bolt, by the Milwaukee one, but it's such a small difference you won't really know.
Do they have more torque than like the Milwaukee?
I've only used the older Milwaukee ones.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know about the brand new ones, but I know the older Milwaukee I had, it was way faster with RPMs. But I don't know about breakaway torque. Usually whenever I use them, I just break it by hand, then pull the trigger. I'm not one of the people that just like, oh, come on, break free.
Yeah. And I noticed like you have this massive 12.0 battery.
Yeah.
Like, my God, that's ridiculous. Do you put that on like all these?
I'll usually only use it on my 3/4 or my 1-inch, just because it's the only thing that really needs them. Like, if you put a 12 amp on that, you'll see a difference, but it's so heavy, it's not worth it.
Oh, okay.
If that doesn't take it off, I'm going to my Air or my 1-inch.
That makes sense, yeah.
The snap-on 3/8 gun, these things, if you're working on the automotive industry and working underneath the hood of a car, this rocker switch, it's a time saver. Like,
is it?
You can just zip them right in and out. Like, automotive industry, even for most suspension work, I would be using this. Like, just for fun, I actually put an adapter on that and put a 32mm socket on it.
Yeah.
This pulled off a CV axle nut.
No way.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Underneath it's a 1/4 inch hex head driver, so if I'm ever running in screws or working in the interior with tiny little 7 mils, I'll use that because you can set the limit on it.
Oh, okay.
And then just your typical Milwaukee 1/2 inch drill in the corner, some grinding wheels, floppy disks, wire wheels for just cleaning up, prepping for weld, that type of stuff. So that's that for my cordless drawer. Down here, I have quick disconnect fuel line set for doing fuel pumps and whatnot. Stud pullers for cars. This is actually a really good kit if you're ever working in like an automotive. This kit, they're threaded. So instead of using a socket and like or not a socket, lug nut and like this flat washer bearing they give you, that'll go in there and you put your thrush washer in there with a little bit of oil. Those things pull so much faster and they're way less like wear on a lug nut. Like, you'll destroy a lug nut if you do 5. I think I've only ever messed up 1, and I've probably done 100 studs out of this kit.
Man, that's awesome.
I completely forget what's in this one. Shows you how much it's a fancy punch set by Mac. Underneath there is a wheel bearing puller by Mako. This is some stud. I think these are stud extractors, not stud extractors, lug nut extractors. Yeah, lug nut extractors. Cornwell 9-way slide hammer. This is a pretty nice kit from Blue Power. This is typical torque stick kit. It's pretty good.
Nice.
I break them quite often, but I probably just over wrenching them. This, I believe, is an extractor set by Snap-on. Yeah, extractor set. Left-handed drill bits, your typical. The little guys break a lot. I really need to warranty that. I always forget. Yeah, don't ever use the little drill bits because they'll just snap.
Do they warranty the drill bits?
No.
Oh, really?
From like here down, don't use them. From here up, use them. That is a Mako twist caliper set. That is a low-profile pitman arm puller for GMCs, which doesn't work 90% of the time. Just buy a grinder and a cut-off wheel.
So you said when this pitman arm puller doesn't work, you cut it off?
So this is designed, you pull the nut off, it's designed to shove the pitman arm in there, and that's designed to run up into the gearbox.
Right.
So if this usually won't work, so what you do is you just take your die grinder, pull the nut off, and make a slit in the pitman arm, and then take your air hammer and drive it into where you cut it, and then just smack it with a hammer, it'll fall right off.
Oh, wow.
It works. It takes a little longer if that doesn't work, because if that fits on there and it pops it off, it's amazing, but usually I give it 7 out of 10 times I'm over there with a cutter.
Really?
Cutting them. So that's in that drawer. I think this drawer is my extensions. Yeah, extensions. So I got all the Swivel Plus, I think that's what they're called.
Oh, the Wobbly Plus?
Yeah, Wobbly Plus from Snap-on, 1/2 inch, 3/8, 1/4 inch. They're really good.
Nice.
These are pretty cool if you're just doing a lot of stuff by hand. You can just use it and thread it in. It's a locking soft grip extension, but you can also throw something on the end of it.
Oh, that's cool.
I got a 3-piece kit of those. Snap-on razor knife. Don't buy this one. Buy the one that just stays out.
Oh, okay.
You'll be cutting something and it'll slip and then you get frustrated. Back here is just a mix of some Snap-on, some cheap Nikeo 3/8, a couple of Snap-ons. Moving over down one drawer, this is just kind of oddball stuff, fuses, screws, some random hardware. Lockbox, so if I ever get cash or something like that or a check, I'll throw it in there. Mostly,
can you mount it to the...
yeah. You're supposed to drill it and rivet it down.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look, $1.
Nice.
You're supposed to like rivet it down. It was riveted down in my old box, but I cut it out for this one. But I don't use it a whole lot because cash, not really a thing anymore.
Sure, yeah.
Moving down a drawer. In here is more oddball stuff, just stuff I kind of accumulated from spacers. Those are all the adapters for my little scanner for going to like a Ford, an older Ford, OBD1 Fords. So it's very rare anymore that you'll get into drums, rear brake drums on a car.
Sure.
So this is just a kit I bought just in case I ever do it, because I do some every once in a while, mainly my own stuff. But
nice.
It's got all the adjuster bars, the tool, some gauges, the fancy spring releasers for the what actually holds the shoe to the backing plate.
Right. What's that thing?
That's an adjuster for like trailers.
Huh.
Like on a normal pull behind trailer.
Yeah.
You would just stick that in there and ratchet it real quick.
Nice.
At least that's what I use it for. I don't know what it's actually meant for, but this is a 3/4 inch torque adapter. So you stick a pry bar on it and just your socket. I don't use it a whole lot. Like every once in a while, like when we're doing semis and if we're doing like multiple tires and somebody else isn't here in the shop, I'll grab this and use this to torque wheels.
Oh, sweet.
So if we're doing multiple.
Yeah.
But the shop's got their own 3/4 inch wrench, so I use theirs.
Nice.
Good old Cornwell blowgun kit. Homemade diff yoke puller, so the yoke's on where the driveline goes. This is just a homemade one because I didn't want to spend $1 million they want it for. So you just stick a piece of all thread through there, clamp it on with the U-joint straps, and just run it right into the yoke.
Okay, yeah.
So that was just homemade. That's just a piece of 1-inch round bar.
Nice.
More random stuff, fuses, some extra lug nuts. Moving down, these are my hammer drawer. Mainly got Snap-on and Mako in here. So the Snap-on hammers, these things are awesome. This is my go-to grab one. They're dead blows.
What size is that?
It's a 44 ounce.
44
I think it's a 44. Nope, I lie. It's a 56 ounce.
I thought that looked huge.
So that's they only came out with this like almost I think a year ago.
Oh, okay.
So these ones are my go-to grab ones. These my orange one and this bigger one here. Dead blows, I have the Mac ones because they're on a promo.
Nice.
I got a couple of these Wilton unbreakable hammers that I've used, but usually I'll throw these on a pickup when I'm going out somewhere because if I lose it, I don't really care. Try not to lose stuff, but it'll happen.
How often do you go on like service calls?
It's kind of luck of the draw. So if somebody blows a tire, I'm going to fix it. If somebody blows a hydraulic line, I'm going to fix it.
Gotcha. Huh.
Yeah, I'm just you kind of do everything here. Huh. Road service and whatnot here in the shop. Down here is some, I totally forget what's in that one. This is a Mighty Vac for like brake bleeding or fluid extraction. Your 4.5 inch Snap-on air grinder. So if I'm doing a lot of grinding, I'll use this because the Milwaukee one will get super hot in your hand.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So this will actually keep your hand cool because it's got air running through it. That is a, what is this? Oh, rethreader kit, the Snap-on rethread kit.
That looks brand new.
Yeah, I bought it a couple weeks ago. Oh, that is a Mac harmonic balance puller kit.
Yeah, that looks pretty new too.
Yeah, I bought it for a job, used it twice, and never used it again.
Yeah.
But I'll use it for doing oddball stuff like yokes on pickup trucks. I'll use them for ripping yokes out, a steering wheel.
Yeah.
So that's all that side. Over here, this is a brand new set of T-handle Torques.
Oh, yeah.
I bought them for something, and I had plans on using them, and then I just made do with what I had, and then I saw the truck, and I was like, I need those for next time.
Oh, sweet.
Your general oil filter wrenches.
Gosh, those are massive.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So on a semi, oil filters are about 10 times bigger than your car, so gotta have those. Underneath here is a set of Snap-on files.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good set, pretty reasonable price too, to be honest.
Yeah, I love those handles too.
For a good set of files. So that's what's like just keeping that drawer. This side's kind of just barren. So this is my oddball drawer for air hose fittings, adapters. Like if you're putting in an air can in a semi, you'll throw that in the air can and put air to it. That way you don't have to sit there with an impact and cage it. That'll just pull it back and you just...
Oh, wow.
I think I got a cage and bolt in here somewhere, but just more random air fittings, blowers, valves, like hose adapters to go from a 1/2 inch, and I had a 3/8 on that, so that way I didn't have to have two different hoses with me.
Huh.
Down here is my Snap-on Power Probe, basically. They call it a Power Ultra circuit tester. I don't use it a whole lot. I have an actual Power Probe that I like better, but it still keep the line. I keep plastic on because I don't want the screen getting dirty.
Yeah. So what's the difference between this and just like a power probe?
So this will actually go into like ohms and get a lot more refined. So if you're doing actual like sensor testing and like a power probe, the brand new power probe will do it, but it doesn't usually go down into the low enough ohms to read. So this just has a much wider range of testing. So you can do a lot more. You can like, I think you can even load test with this too. But it's got a digital screens, like it's a decent sized digital screen.
That's awesome.
So it's a pretty good unit if you want to spend the extra money on it. I think this is like a $500 power probe.
Oh, geez.
So if you're doing fuse testing, these things are pretty cool. It grounds through you, so you hold right there, and as long as you're touching the vehicle that has a ground to it, and you're testing power, it'll just light up and beep at you.
Man, that's so cool.
So I use that mainly for doing like fuse checking or wire, like for tail lights and stuff. I'll use that a lot. So it's pretty good little tool, and they're fairly cheap.
Nice.
Your relay buddies, if you ever need to like bypass a relay to make sure you're not chasing, like if you want to do a fuel pump, you can flick it on, so that way you're not just trying to key it on or hurry and run back there and listen. You can put that in there and flick it on and make sure you can hear the fuel pump running.
Right, yeah. Nice.
My little borescope, I don't recommend this to anybody. It's overpriced garbage by the Snap-on.
That screen is tiny. Look at that.
No, it's not even a screen, it's your phone.
It's your phone.
Yeah.
Huh.
It'll freeze if you're in a building with a metal roof. It doesn't want to work. Don't buy it. I'm gonna trade it in on a Snap-on one.
Oh man.
These are actually really good. Some of the tool trucks sell those. They're step bits.
Whoa.
Lifetime warranty.
Oh no way.
They're a little pricey. I think they're like $240, but they're really good. Huh. But you can also order them offline. Yeah. Your Mac quarter-inch drill bits, because Mac will warranty all their bits.
No way.
All their drill bits. So I have the quarter-inch set down because Matco won't warranty quarter-inch and down. So I have these for quarter-inch down cases, and then I have the full size for basically bigger.
Nice.
And these are the step bits. I don't know if you've seen them or not, but
oh yeah, the hyper
yeah.
step. Yeah.
I go through them because I do a lot of AR500 here.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
AR500 is a type of steel. Like
okay.
It's the highest grade of steel you can use. We use it to line our dump trucks because they're high wear. Jeez. They have a really good high wear. Like comparing it to mild steel, it'll last about 10 times longer.
Wow.
But it's 10 times harder. Like if you look at that drill bit, that's purple. That and I think I drilled 2 holes in AR500 with that.
Jeez.
To do a couple of plug welds. But those are pretty good. I don't do a lot of pickups here for like OBD. So I just have a cheap launch. I have a really nice Snap-on Soloist at my house, but I don't want to bring it here because what I'm doing, this will tell me. Tire reamer, solder for whenever I'm doing really fine wiring that'll actually need to be a good connection.
So you just mentioned a tire reamer. Do you guys fix like leaks in like a huge, massive tires? I always see like tractor tires and stuff.
We will fix semis within reason because like it's just in the automotive. You can't fix it if it's close to a sidewall.
Oh, okay.
But whenever it comes to the loader side or like water wagons or whatever else we have that have tires on loaders, we won't touch them because they're split rims. And I know how to do them, but I don't want the liability if I put it on wrong and blow somebody's head off. Yeah. I don't want to be part of that. So
that's
we have our outside tire guys do them.
Gotcha.
Snap-on torch, this thing works pretty good. Don't buy the more expensive model. They try to upsell you on it. It's not worth it. So if you want to do heat shrink, or it's got all the fittings or all the adapters in there for melting like plastic or whatnot.
Nice.
So I bought the bigger one. It was junk. So I bought the little one, hoping it was better. It was.
Sweet.
Good old Snap-on multimeter. It's a pretty good little multimeter that does just about everything you need for what we do. So if you're getting real technical, like if I'm trying to chase down like a faulty wire, if I keep replacing sensors and it doesn't fix it, I'll check wires and resistance with this.
Goodness.
Sometimes I wish these drawers were a little bit deeper. Down here is a completely empty drawer.
Oh, man.
Because I took my 1-inch impact out of it today.
Oh, okay.
Then over here on the side, like I said, I do welding. So a leather welding jacket for winter. Just a nice softer or thinner one for the summer so I don't sweat.
Sweet.
Cutting glasses, welding cap, welding sleeves. Up on top of my box, just some random hats I get for free. My computer, I use Cummins Insight for our bigger trucks.
Oh, okay.
So Cummins Insight is a program. You just buy an adapter and it'll plug into them. So I have Cummins Insights for most of our semis. And then the couple of cats we have, I have Cat ET, so I can hook up the excavators and loaders with Cat ET, and then hook up to the one Cat engine I have here.
So that's like an interface that will communicate with the computer?
Yeah, it's basically like a scanner.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So Because like usually if you buy a heavy duty scanner, it's more of a generic like, oh yeah, here you go, here's a code. This I can go in and I can do anything I want. I can do force regens, I can check voltage, I can do test, injector cutouts, which you can do with some of the generic ones. But using Cummins ET or Cummins Insight, it's just more specific. It's dialed for Cummins.
Wow. Huh. So that's like the factory software.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like that's $1,200 a year to use that program.
So you have to lease it. That's crazy.
And there's a free version which will only let you check faults. You can't delete or you can't erase the faults. You can't clear them. You can't do tests. All you can do is see what's in there. I think it'll show you some of the parameters, but then you still have to buy the adapter to aux to it. And I think it's $800 by itself.
Goodness. So is this something that you have to pay for, or is it shop?
Oh, it's shop.
Oh, okay. That's good.
They pay for that, but I buy the laptop.
Oh, gotcha. Well, that speaker looks. Wow.
Yeah, that actually came off of a Mac tool truck. He got it. Yeah, he got them from Costco.
Whoa.
They're like returns, and it's got like a dent or something right here, and he was selling them half price. I got it for like $100. I think they're like 180 from Costco.
Is it pretty loud?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
I had to keep it on one because I work here, and everybody gets mad. All the office ladies are like, no.
Yeah.
Over here in my just my random cart, I have got that power probe I was talking about, just my generic.
So is this stuff that you're getting ready to take home?
No, this is just my bag in case I need to go. I grab this. Okay. So if somebody says, hey, I got a wiring issue, I grab this because it's got all the stuff in it I would need.
Wow. So this just stays in this bag all the time?
It's usually in my work truck, but other than that, it is what it is. So I got a 6-piece kit from Snap-on. It's got 2 crimpers, wire cutter, long, short, 2 needle noses.
Man, it's this high-vis color too, huh?
Yeah, I hate red. I can't stand the Snap-on red. So I got the metric and standard Mac RBT or whatever you want to call them.
RBRT, yeah, that's
wrenches. I got the standard and metric.
Both these sets just stay inside of the.
Yeah,
those look brand new.
Yeah, I don't use them a whole lot because usually when I'm going out, I'm using wrenches, or I'll grab my crest wrenches for hydraulic hoses, because usually what I'm doing is I'm usually will be doing tires, hydraulic hoses, or occasionally like welding a bucket back together or welding a pin back in. Gotcha. So it's just in case I need it. They're the locking wrenches or the locking rails, so they don't fall out. You got to twist them to get them off.
Yeah.
Best if you're going down the road, best for those. So a short and a tall version of just metrics, 1/2 inch, because it's usually all I use.
Gotcha.
Especially on cats. Cats are all metric, and then just your typical old Snap-on 1/2 inch ratchet locking.
Oh, man. That
stays in there. I got a Snap-on screwdriver with bits in the handle.
Sweet.
In case I ever need to do that. Then just a Mac set of Allens.
Those are the RBRT.
Yeah, I got the metric or standard, or however you want to. I think they're metric is what you would call them. They're 2.5s. So that's what's in that. There's little butt connectors and electrical tape shoved in here in the sides. Just whatever you need. And then up here, my big 1 inch.
Jeez. Is that pretty heavy?
Yeah. It's probably 25, 30-ish pounds, I think.
Is it okay? Can I try?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous.
Then you throw that 12-amp battery on there and it gets even heavier.
Oh, I bet. Do you know how much torque these put out?
I think they advertise them like 2,000.
Goodness.
But we take our lug nuts off usually every other week because we're changing tires like crazy.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'm never dealing with rusty lug nuts, but I put it on a couple of my house. Super rusty, old 1.5 inch semi lug nuts, and it breaks them free.
Wow.
I've never had an issue. And then this usually is also shoved in a truck where I'm going in. There's just your lug nut sockets for semis.
Jeez, yeah.
Just your general set. Big old crescent wrench. We're doing bigger hydraulic lines. And then just a huge pipe wrench, and then a tear down tray. So if I'm working on something, I can just stick that to the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think in here is all my oddball creations, wrenches, custom adapters, and making wrenches work for whatever I need them to.
Yeah.
Oh, and then just here's another cheap little semi scanner. So if I just want to go out and clear code, knowing I fixed it and I forgot to, I don't have to hook my laptop.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
I just run out there, clear it real quick.
Sorry. So this is what like a connector looks like?
Yeah, that's a 7-pin. I think it's a 7-pin. It's a 7 or an 8-pin.
That's wild.
That's what most semis use.
Oh, really?
So like 2006 and older, you'll lose about like 4 or 5 of those pins. But if you go newer than that, you jump up to these. Like here, I can actually show you. So on the end of my adapter here, you have 2 different styles.
Oh, okay.
So I think this is like 06 or 07 older, and this is newer. So it just jumps up in pins. And then just down here is mainly, this is a custom tool I made myself. So if you're
that's
testing
wild.
intercoolers on semis, they use a 4-inch rubber boot. You pull your charge pipe off, shove it in there, clamp it down. And on the other side, I just use plastic PVCs, and you just clamp them in there, and then you can air it up slowly, just like a intercooler tester kit. But at the time I needed one, I needed it right then and there. And nobody had one, so that's what I got stuck with.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Then just a bunch of Mac magnets, a couple cups, my Savage welding helmet. Then over here I got my Snap-on welding helmet. Keep it in a bag, so I try to keep it somewhat nice, but dirt's your worst enemy when you're working in the dirt. But
that's sweet.
they're all right. They're a little overpriced, but
Are they?
I like whenever I'm working like underneath the truck, I'll use this one because it's got a slender profile. You don't end up hitting your head on stuff. But
yeah,
I think the last thing I haven't showed you is just a Snap-on hand sanitizer.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah. During COVID, they were giving them out, so I was like, I'll take one.
What?
Yeah, and I just put a magnet on the back of it.
Well, that's sweet. Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And that's pretty much it for what I have.
And Triston, man, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. You seem incredibly busy. But yeah, I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for showing me your setup. This is just wild. Crazy. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I really loved it. That was awesome. But till the next one, we'll see you.